Okay. Also, sorry for the very lousy light or lighting in here. Alright, so let's get this started. Okay, so first of all, welcome. My name is Cirillo, also known as Pyromagma. So today I'm doing a live stream trying to teach everybody how to do some basic drawings. My apologies if my audio sounds a little bit off. Also, if you have any questions or if you want to participate, please feel free to ask questions in the chat, and I'll do my best. Once again, I have very bad frame rate because I'm not sure why my laptop doesn't process anything properly. So my apologies. So I'll try to speak clearly. If you guys can't hear me or anything, you let me know, and I'll do my best to see what I can do. Mm. Also, there was a little bit of interruption by my dog and cat. I just got pretty bad scratch from my cat. He pretty much bounced on me and really scratched me really bad. Alright, so first let me introduce this thing or this video. I'll probably end up editing in a couple of minutes, or once I'm done with it. I'm probably going to do this video for like around an hour. So once again, welcome. My name is Cirillo. This is my first YouTube video on teaching you how to draw. Well, this is how to draw my way. There's a lot of videos here on YouTube. And also I'm a bit nervous, so my apologies. And I'm kind of sick right now. I kind of have a head cold, so I'm doing my best. Okay, so let's go on ahead and introduce you again to this thing. So once again, my name is Cirillo, also known as Pyromagma. Welcome to my channel. So first off, anybody who's willing or wants to learn anybody who is willing to learn or is interested in learning how to draw, this is what I'm going to try to teach you. First thing is, I'm going to tell you what you need. You can either have any kind of paper to start off with. If you have a sketchbook, awesome. I recommend getting like any basic sketchbook. You don't really need a fancy or very expensive type of sketchbooks that have very thick or heavy paper. You can even use regular printer paper. A lot of people frown upon regular paper. I myself don't mind it, but I still want everybody to use what they have. You don't have to go out there and buy so many crazy expensive stuff. I myself started off drawing on pretty much notebooks and regular printer paper. So the first thing I need, again, if you have a clipboard or you have a sketchbook, get it out, and then I'm going to teach you some basic stuff on how to draw. The things also you'll need will be either any kind of pencil. It can be from a regular lead pencil, and you need, of course, lead for. You're gonna need some lead. And I'm sorry, I repeat myself a lot, so I'm sorry. And again, I'm kind of sick. So again, you're gonna need a pencil. You're gonna need some lead for your pencil, which is a mechanical one that I use. My apologies. Also, I recommend using a retractable little tiny eraser, which is good as well. And then, of course, as you can see, I have two types of mechanical pencils. I have a regular 7.0, 5.0 lead pencil, and I also do have a pen. Now, what I will recommend for everybody is use whatever you're comfortable with. I will also recommend using a color pencil when you're sketching, because sometimes it's good to use just a color pencil to, make everything start off. But right now I'm just teaching the basics, so I'm going to use a regular lead pencil, which is a 7.0, and an eraser, and a pen. Alright, so here we go. Oh, also, if you have any comments, please go ahead and write me a comment or say something in the chat. And again, I'm looking back and forth, and I'll try to do my best to answer or reply to anything questions you might have. So let's start off, okay? Okay. So let's see here. Let's see here. Alright, cool. Alright, so first thing is, when I was learning how to draw, I used to draw a lot of stick figures. If you don't believe me, I know it's funny. But anybody who can draw, or wants to draw, or even has a reasonable, like a starting point, you can always start off by just drawing stick figures. I'll give you an example. Again, this is what I used to draw. I used to draw like regular stick figures, a circle with a regular line and little legs and little hands. That's what I used to do. It was nothing crazy or complicated, but that's me when I was a kid. And honestly, I started drawing since I was, from what I can remember, when I was like 5 years old. And I wasn't like taught by myself. The person that was teaching me was my mother, and I learned along the way because I used to love drawing. I used to even draw like small things, like little small houses that my mom was teaching me, like these little tiny, like cubey houses and whatnot. But it wasn't very anything crazy. And I used to draw trees like this. Nothing crazy, nothing fancy. But let's go ahead and continue what I was saying. So yeah, so I started off drawing stick figures when I was a kid. That's how I was learning, and then I used to copy a lot of pictures, not drawings, but I used to copy a lot of pictures from cartoons, like cartoon magazines or comic book stuff. I used to do that a lot when I was a kid. But I'm gonna get to what I'm saying, and you're gonna understand what I mean. So I used to practice a lot by just looking at different stuff that I was like, reading or things that interest me. So that's what I used to do. Now, yes, I used to start with a stick figure, but this is what I always said, or this is what I always say. I'm sorry, not said, but what I always say. If you can draw a stick figure, that means you can draw. You gotta learn how to be positive. You gotta learn how to like enjoy what you're doing. It doesn't matter if it's like, looks terrible. You might think it's ugly and whatnot. Because for a long time, I used to judge my work very negatively. It took me a while to praise my work. But again, I started off drawing stick figures. From stick figures, I moved on to adding like more detail. For example, I added like muscles. I added like hands, face features, or just pretty much your basic human features. That's what I did. But again, I'm going to teach you something interesting. So here's the first lesson. Like I mentioned, if you draw stick figures, when you learn how to draw or when you're starting to learn how to draw? And this is how I learned. Yes, so let's start off with a stick figure. But this stick figure, just see if you can follow what I'm doing, okay? First thing is, yes, you're going to have an access point, but also try to think this in your mind. How do you want your character to be facing? Meaning, do you want him to be facing forward, to the side, to an angle? That's your choice. Me, I'm going to teach you how to do it like kind of like a stick figure way. Now, I'm not sure if you understand or you're following what I'm saying, but here you go. Also, if you cannot hear me in the mic, or if you cannot hear me properly, please let me know, because I'll probably end up loading a commentary on this live video, because again, I'm having some issues. But here we go. So me, I'm going to teach you. This is what I do when I'm starting to draw a character nowadays, but I'm going to teach you how to do it with a stick figure. I do it differently now. So here we go. So what I do first, I always start with a circle. Right now, it doesn't matter. So as you can see, the circle can be facing forward, side, or it can be facing at an angle. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start facing from the side. And I'm going to try to do a self-portrait. Okay? So again, I start off with a circle, and then I'm going to go ahead and make a center line. My drawing is going to be a character facing forward. So again, I'm starting with a center line, and I'm going to go all the way down, almost to the bottom. And you'll understand why. So first I start with a circle. Next, what I do from this, as you can see, it's just a circle, and it's almost like a stick figure. I do this. The next thing I do is I do another line going across. This right here is pretty much going to be your shoulders. Now, next step is this. As you can see, it's like a, like a stick figure. I'm going to expand this line one more, a little bit longer, or a little bit more lower. And I'm going to stop almost like, let's say, almost midway. From there, I want to tell you something. I know that you usually see a little stick figure legs like that, I know, but no. So the reason I stop here is because I'm thinking to myself, where am I going to put the other axis line, or the other line where I'm going to stop so I can make a chest. That's going to be interesting. For example, usually I always look at this, and I always make it a little bit lower from this line. So right here. Now I determined this right here. And remember how I said there's like the little legs and whatnot? Okay, what you do next is this. You do two little legs. Okay, doesn't matter. Just do two legs. There you go. See? That's your legs for your character or for this individual. Now, I want you to understand something here. You see this right, what I'm about to do? This here is going to be the hip line of the character's hips. Now, the other thing is, I want to teach you something else. As you can see from here, try to make another line going to the center point, or not the center point, but a little bit below this, like halfway to halfway here. And you'll understand why. Now, that little thing there is going to help out. Now, going to the hand part. I know how stick figures usually have their hands like this, right? That's fine. Let's do that. Do two lines this way. That's good. That's pretty much both your hands, right? Okay. So let's go on ahead and do the next step, which is adding a little bit more detail to the way I learn how to draw and how I'm trying to teach you. And again, once again, if I'm not making any sense, please feel free to let me know on the chat, and I'll do my best. Now let's see here. Give me a second. I gotta send a message real quick. Okay, so I'm back. Okay, so next step now, like I was saying. So now that we have our head, our torso, our hands and legs, let's go ahead and continue. So what I do next on this stick figure, I want you to check closely. And this is going to be more referencing to a cartoon or like an anime. And again, I'm trying to draw myself as a character, or I'm trying to draw myself as a self-portrait. So the next thing I do, I pretty much do this. I try to go to the almost center of the actual, like, let's say, head here. And I need to do this. I need to do two lines. And these lines are important. I'll tell you, you'll learn why later. But you do this. You do two lines, and it's a little bit above the center. This is the center right here, but it has to be a little bit above. And then you do another line. Now, these lines are going to represent where your eyes are going to be located, and also your ears. Okay? Now, the next step, as you can see, is a circle, correct? This is what you're going to do. You're going to go ahead and add a little two lines like this. Make it pointy, right? You're gonna make it pointy supposedly. But this is, again, I'm just teaching you the basics. I'm not sure if you guys can see the actual like lines. If not, let me know in the comments. And again, I am kind of nervous and I am kind of sick, so my apologies if I repeat myself a lot and whatnot. But here we go. So again, yes, you do this. This right here is going to represent the chin and the cheeks. Okay, next step. You're going to go ahead and make another line going this way. Now, I'm not sure if you're noticing, but I'm making a weird little tiny like VU kind of shape. I'm not sure if you can tell. But that's just how it's looking. Later on, I will teach you when I do it more hard. I mean, I use the pen and I actually go more into detail. But that's what I'm trying to teach you. I'm trying to teach you how to start the face. Okay, now that you have those two lines like I just put right here, you go ahead and you make your head rounder from the top. That's going to represent where your hair and your forehead's at. Now, what I will recommend next is you put your ears. Ears are very simple. They're just two little circles like this. Actually, you can say like half of I'll say half of a heart, because you know how hearts are like this. They're like this, right? It's like a heart. So imagine that halfway and put one piece and the one on the other side. So let's go ahead and do that, as you can see. And again, this is just my interpretation of myself as a cartoon. And I'm not going to go super crazy on this. It's just a cartoon. Alright, so the next step. We're going to go ahead and do the neck. Now, remember that line I told you, or we did earlier? You see how I'm going all the way down to this? This right here represents your neck. This right here is where the center of your collarbone is. Also, if you're learning how to draw, I will also recommend, or if you want to draw, I recommend to try and look up anatomy. Go to your library, look up anatomy books, so you can learn the actual anatomy of a human and the muscle structure and pretty much how everything goes. But again, this is just a cartoon, so it's not that much of an importance. So again, going back to what I was talking about. Right here, we're gonna go ahead and do these two lines, which represents the neck. Next part is this. The reason I'm doing these right here, these are just straight up lines and circles like shapes. This right here is your collar muscle. This is your neck, collar muscle, or shoulder blade muscle, what you want to call it. Next, I want to tell you, remember how I said I made this line here for the chest? What you're going to do now is go expand it a little bit more, and then you're going to go ahead and start making another shape like this. What that does is this represents your chest. And then you're going to go ahead and do two straight lines like this. This represents your belly. Now the next part is going to be this. You're going to go ahead and go straight down to this line. What that does is this here will be your groin area. Now the other part. You see how we made this line for the legs, right? You're going to go ahead, make one line going inward, or going inside of the leg. This is your thigh. And you do the same, going inward. You do that on both sides. Again, it doesn't have to be this accurate or whatnot. I'm just doing this to teach you the basics. I'm not sure if I'm helping or if I'm making sense. Now, as you can see, you have your head, your neck, your chest, your belly, your thigh, and your legs, your thigh legs, muscle. Next, you see is the arms, right? What you do now is you pretty much do the same thing like the leg, but you gotta remember, you gotta make the lines go inward. What that means is this is your muscle, your shoulder, and whatnot. This right here will help out. Now, I know it's looking kind of rough and whatnot, and I understand, but this is just how I learned how to draw. I don't use this method no more. Mine is just mostly about circles, lines, and that's it. I don't use the stick figure method, but I'm just teaching what I learned. Okay, so we have this, let's go into detail. This again is just a cartoon. Doesn't represent nothing. Now again, let's go ahead and start. Right here what's going to happen is I'm going to go ahead, make it a little bit like it's bulging out. Because the neck is never that straight. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to bulge this part out too. Again, this is a muscle. And then as you can see, I'm doing the same thing here. And then, as you can see, I'm doing more lines, more bulginess. What this is representing is pretty much the muscle and everything of the body. Now, let's go ahead and do something. A lot of times, many people don't understand that the chest muscle is connected to your almost bicep or your muscle. But let's just go ahead and do this right here. Usually, when in your chest, you're always going to start like this. There's a line, it goes like this. Okay, let's see here. Now, when you have that, right, you go like this because you're expanding the muscle of the body. You keep on doing this. The reason I'm doing this, I'm filling everything. And as you can see, this is your chest. Okay. Now, right here, I'm also filling this because keep in mind that when you reach your belly right here, this is your thigh. Also, this is where your butt muscle is. I know it sounds wrong, but this is your chest, your belly, or your abdomen. This is your butt / lower belly muscle. And there you go. Then you put your thigh muscle. Again, if I'm going too fast, please tell me, and I'll be glad to see if I can explain a bit. Sorry, again, I am kind of tired, so I'm trying to do my best. So here we go. See, now I'm doing this one more time on the other side as well. And let's continue on. So the reason I did it like this is because I'm putting the muscle going upward. I'm not sure if I'm making sense again. I am sorry if I'm not. But that's pretty much how I will start this off. Now that we have this, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do some details. Okay. Okay, so with a pen, I'm going to start doing more darker details. So again, remember how I told you in your head you have these two, that's for your eyes, right? This is your ear. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, to start an eye, I'm going to make simple eyes. They're not going to be crazy. So the first thing, I'm looking at these two center part, right? I'm going to go ahead and make like a C shape. As you can see, it's like a C shape, a reverse C shape. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. And I'm doing that on both sides. And I'm not going too much into the center because you got to remember, the center is where your nose is at. Alright, so the first thing is, now that you have this, right? Okay. Okay, so I'm sorry, I'm just trying to just figure out how to explain this. My apologies. Again, I'm not really used to doing a class. It's been such a long time. And again, I'm sick, so I'm sorry. I do apologize a lot, so bear with me. Okay, so going back, like here's your eyes, right? The next part is trying to do your eye socket, or your eye part of it, okay? You can do a small circle like this inside to represent your eye. And there you go, you have two eyes, right? Now you have this part here. You see how you have this? This is going to be where the nose is at. Your nose is usually a little bit lower than your eyes, right? You don't really have to do it like that. I'm sorry. You can just do like another U, just like this. This is just the line for the, you know, how your nose bone is. That's just the line. You don't have to do that. I'm just saying you can do this right here for a nose. Next, to make a mouth. It's quite simple. Most cartoon characters, you don't have to do any like actual detail facial stuff. For example, like lips, very pouty lips. So the thing is, I usually just do this. I just do a regular line. Either can be like this, but I usually try to do a smiley face. And I never like connect them together because to me this is just the center point of the lips where you know you have the center lip part and it's like a little tiny groove, so I just leave that blank. Then what I do this. This is your lower lip. And as you can see now you have like a face. And again, this is me. So the next part is, now that I have both my eyes, my nose, and my mouth, I try to put some eyebrows. Usually male characters or men and female characters have different types of eyelashes, or I'm sorry, eyebrows, because males have thicker brows, females have thinner brows, or you can choose as whatever you like. It's your choice. So here we go. Usually, always remember that your eyebrows are always on top of your eye part, or I'm sorry, your eyes, not eye part. Sorry, my apologies. And as you can see, they're thick. And as you can see, the way that I do these is I start from here, and then I try to make like a little tiny, like, let's say a cat claw, and I make them both the opposite sides. Now, the next part is this. I do my chin, which is here. Remember that pointy part? Now you can go like this. You can make like a little tiny round thing, and then you can make your cheeks like going around, and then you can stop however you like. Since I have small cheeks, but I do have chubby cheeks, I tend to always make myself a little bit chubby. And as you can see, I started here in the center, then I went outwards, and then as you can see, I'm a little bit round. I'm not skinny. If I was skinnier, I could have just done it more slimmer, but no. I have a round head, even though I'm not very big anymore. So, the next part is we're going to go ahead and do the hair. Hair in a cartoon character can be a challenge for most. For me, it was. This is what I usually do for my hair. At the current moment, I have very short hair. I'm kind of, you could say bald, but I'm not bald. So here we go. First thing is, the way I start my hair, if you know DBZ, I hope you do, because I'm a big fan of DBZ, and that's actually the honest way I used to draw anime. I started with drawing a lot of DBZ characters. Let me just say the real name. Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball. That's what I used to draw when I was doing manga or anime or whatever you want to call it. But here we go. This is how I draw my hair. Remember that center line? Remember that right here you have your forehead. This part right here is your forehead. So this is what you're going to do. Go ahead and either start with a line like this, a little curvy line, and then you go ahead and make another line like this. This right here is your center hair. or your center, like what are they called, bangs. And then I go ahead and make another one similar to it, but it's more like a little tiny wave of different lines. It doesn't have to be perfect because hair is very unpredictable. But this is what I usually do. I just do this, make some interesting little tiny hair or bangs. Then I go ahead and do this. Like in DBZ, they don't have much like super detail on the hair. Is mostly like very cubey and blocky. I usually go like this and then connect my ear. And as you can see, that I connect my ear. And as you can see, right? Next, I do a funny, interesting line inside the ear because you can see I just darken the ear. What I do is I do a line like this, and this that will make the ear. It doesn't have to be super detailed because keep in mind, a real ear has many lines and a lot of detail. But the reason I'm doing this right here is I'm just trying to teach you how to do hair. But again, you start with some interesting little wavy slash like teeth looking kind of style, and then you pretty much finish it off with your tiny either what they call they're called I can't remember the top of my head, sideburns. There we go. You can call these sideburns, but they're really not sideburns. And then I go again to the ear, I darken it up, and then I do the same thing on this side like I did on the other side. These lines that I told you earlier are very important because they teach you how to make a face and how to pinpoint certain spots of your facial the face of your character. But again, this is me, and this is when I used to have long hair. So continuing on, the way that I continue the top part, now that I'm over here, this is what I do. Since I have naturally curly hair, but again, I'm doing this kind of like in DBZ format, I typically just go like this. If you remember Goku has some funny little hair that goes like this, and then it just expands like that, right? But anyways, this is just a bunch of like random hair stuff. Because I used to have my hair very crazy. But that's how Goku's hair is normally. But I'm not trying to do that. So I'm just going to go ahead and keep on doing like different little tiny strands. Kind of like this. Here we go. So I'm just making my weird hair like in different shapes. It doesn't have to be perfect. Because again, this is just my self-portrait as a cartoon. My hair is very crazy. It's just wild. As you can see, my hair is already looking like a troll. Also, I'm sorry about that. My dog was barking. So again, you see, this is how the hair is, and all this like round part, all this thing I told you earlier is very important because it helps you determine where you're gonna put certain things up on your character. Now, as you can see, next part is to have more hair. Usually, when you have long hair, your hair always expands everywhere, and it's crazy. Again, sorry about this. Give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Come here. Domino, come here. Also, my dog's name is Domino. Domino, come here. Okay, he stopped. Hopefully he doesn't bark anymore. Okay, so going back to like I was saying. So here I continue on with the hair strands. As you can see, I'm doing more of the hair strands right here. And we also have hair in the back here. So this represents your reverse hair or your back hair. Okay, so now as you can see, the face is done. Now to continue on with the bottom of the body. So next step is this. Now that we're done with the hair, the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ear, I'm gonna go and do this. I'm gonna go ahead and darken the lines where I feel like they're the right spot. Now keep in mind, this is not going to be a naked body, just like you know. I was just showing you the anatomy. So what I do is the next step I do is I do my neck, or I do the neck of my character myself. And then I do a line here because this represents your neck muscle. Then I go on ahead, make some lines like this. And what I do next is this. I add a temporary shirt, or tank top, you might say. This is so the character is not butt naked, which I'm not trying to do. But as you can see, I do this because I have the guide lines of where I drew earlier. But as you can see, I also did this. I drew the neck muscle, part of the chest, and then I did this little line here to represent a tank top. So then, what I do is I go on ahead and continue this. The reason I'm drawing a tank tops are very skin tight, so they don't really need to be loose. Okay, also not the whole time. They're not really skin tight, but just a thing I'm just saying. But again, next part is I go on ahead, make the line for the actual chest. And then I make another line here because right here this represents the shirt. Then I continue on following this same pattern, but I'm not trying to do much of the muscle, you might say. And then I go on ahead and make another line, which this right here represents a line where you're going to put your either briefs or you're going to put your, let's say, under our garments or whatever. But there we go. Now, continuing on with the muscle. Muscles tend to connect like this. And here's the bicep. There's the bottom of the arm, or the back side of the arm, your elbow, and your hand muscle or bicep or whatever. I forgot what they're called. I need to get my anatomy back in order. But as you can see, this is your muscle, this is your arm. Okay, so continue on to what I was saying, and again, I do repeat myself a lot, and I'm sorry, my apologies, and I apologize a lot again, so my apologies again. Alright, so here we go. I'm doing this because I'm trying to add the muscle, but I'm also trying my best to, follow my own guidelines. So as you can see, it's more darker now because I'm able to do this more easier. Once I'm done with this, I'm going to erase everything, and you're going to see that the pen is going to stay because it's darker and it's permanent. And it's not like paper, it's not like pencil. Now the next part. I continue to work on the pants, or you can say the leggings, because I'm going to put leggings on my character. Also, sorry, that was my alarm. So as you can see, I just go on ahead, put my character's leggings, and then I connect it like this. The reason I connect it like this is because they're, muscles and leggings. And then you can add this little line here to represent the split, and that's it. So pretty much this is how you make a character using the stick figure method. I'm not sure if I made any sense. If I didn't, I'm so sorry. Please feel free to ask me questions, and I'll see what I can do. So the next step, what I'm going to do is I'm going to erase all this, and then I'm going to add a little bit more detail, you can say. So as you can see, I did everything. I did the shirt, the pants, and this, the muscles, but I also used the anatomy because it helped me out with the beginning, which it was a solid stick figure model, and that's how it came out. So now I'm going to erase everything. The reason I'm erasing everything, I am pretty much all 100% done with my, drawing. So the first thing is I just want to erase this so I can see my character in a better way. Also, I recommend that you practice and don't give up on anything. Keep on doing what you can. And always love what you draw, even though if it comes out weird or if you think like you could have done better, don't worry about it. Just let it be, because when you let it be, you can always come back in a later time and redraw that same drawing and see how you improve or see what you learn or see what other skills or methods you have learned. And from there, you'll be able to pretty much see how much you improved, see how much like different methods you learn, and then you'll be more proud. But you're also going to be proud of that drawing that you once thought it was a nightmare. I'm not sure if it makes any sense. Okay, there we go. There we go. So as you can see, now it's more detail. Now, the thing about this is, as you can see, I took all the lines off, but as you can see, you have your character, right? And it's better. Now, what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to start doing detail. And by detail, I mean like you can add shading. You can add detail to the eyes. For example, like right here, there's a little tiny part of it. Like, you have the little glistening part of the eye. Then you have the pupil, and then you have all this little retina part. And now you see it's different. Now you added a little bit of detail, makes a big difference. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add some shadow. The way I do shadow is really hard with pen, but I'm going to try it anyways. Usually, I always go under because I'm looking like there's light coming from above. And keep in mind that shadows are very interesting. That's going to be in a later time or in a later moment. But you have your face, but you always got to remember that there's like parts of your face that makes more shadow than others. So this is what I do. I add the shadow here. Then I have this right here, which I add more detail right here. And I keep on adding more shadows. Then, of course, I go ahead, add inner shadows. Please excuse my dog again. He's barking. My apologies. The reason is I do this right here. I really don't like add major shadow because then it'll be overkill. So I'm doing this again. Give me 1 second. Come here, Domino. Cut it out, please. Okay, so continuing on, then we add more shadows in here. And then, of course, there's also some shades in here sometimes. But again, this is just minor detail. I'm not trying to add so much because this is just me teaching you. I'm just doing this detail so you can see the difference with detail and without detail. And again, I'm sorry if I'm not making no sense. And sometimes my shadowing is a little bit off too. Because that's the other challenge a lot of people that draw, they have a hard time with shadows. And I still do until this day. I'm not perfect. It takes a long time for me to learn certain things and to grasp stuff. Like at the moment, I barely am starting to do drawing again full time. But it's not easy either. So again, the hair, usually you can just do this. You can just go ahead, make it more darker. As you can see, I'm just doing lines. The reason I'm doing lines is because it doesn't make it look so bad. And you can still see your original lines on the bottom. So you're not losing anything. Now, I'm going to continue on adding more detail. Sorry. If I do become quiet, my apologies again. And this is actually technically my first official video on how to teach how to draw. So my apologies if it's not so good, but this is just me trying. Also, I'm starting to fall asleep, you can say. Now, let's continue on. Okay. And as a person who draws cartoons, you're always gonna figure out ways or different challenges of, again, with details. That's why I'm doing this, just for me trying to help. I'm not sure, again, if I'm making any sense, so my apologies. Okay, there we go. There's the finished character. Also, always do this. And this took me a long time to do. Always add your signature. The reason is people will know it's you, but also be proud of your work and always sign stuff because that's important. It's an important part as a a person who draws or an artist. So always do that. That just shows you're proud of your work and you're just happy. Even though it's bad, still good. Like me, I'm not 100% happy with this. This is just me teaching everybody how to do. I can tell you a lot of mistakes I made here, but I don't want to because I want everybody to learn and feel happy with what they have. So remember, always when you're done with your drawing, always sign it. And of course, this is my name, and this is my artist name. I'm Pyro. Okay, I'm not sure if I taught anything, and again, I am sorry, but hopefully I taught you something. Well, this is the first video of how to draw. If I did a bad job, please let me know in the in the messages. But I didn't get no messages that much. What? Chess pie? What? You drew yours with unibrows? Nice. Hey, there's nothing wrong with unibrows. Sorry, I was holding the drawing a little bit kind of off, so my bad. I was just distracted by the message. I just read it. It's just funny. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm trying to focus on this a bit. My camera's not that good, so my apologies. I'm trying to do this a little bit more focused, but it's not helping. Well, anyways, let me show you something fun. Give me a sec. Sorry for moving the camera a bit. Okay, let me show you something, another little thing just for the heck of it. Here, I'm going to show you some facial expressions. Okay, that little funny message, I love it, the unibrow one. So here we go. Unibrow man! Let's just call him that. Happy, annoyed, or angry. Actually, I think it's more like, yeah, angry. Then, confused. Let's call him Unibrow Man, or Unibrow Chan. Sorry, I just want to draw these little weird expressions. So even with a unibrow person or unibrow, you can make anything look funny. That's what I'm trying. That's what I was trying to get with these little things right here. So it's kind of hard for me to explain. Well, I'm gonna call it quits. I'm sorry, but I'm currently tired right now. But I hope you enjoyed this video or this educational first video. Um, that's pretty much it. Now I'm just gonna go ahead and say later for now. And again, thank you for watching. If I was able to teach something, that makes me happy. If I wasn't, my apologies. I don't really live stream that much, or I don't do much videos due to the fact that I'm not in perfect health, or health, sorry for saying that. But I hope that taught something to anybody. So anyways, I'm gonna say later for now. It was, fun, it was fun talking or chatting and teaching. I'll do my best for the next time. I'll try to do a better video, and hopefully by then I have better equipment. That's the reason I don't live stream, because my recording setup is not that good. I do everything from a laptop, which doesn't really provide good streaming quality, and I don't have a mic, so it's kind of hard. Well, okay, that's enough of me. Well, thank you again for coming to the stream. I'm calling it now. So you have a wonderful day, night, morning, evening, wherever you are part of the world. And yeah, that's pretty much it. So, hasta luego. Ciao. Have a wonderful, wonderful day. Alright. Bye, everybody. Bye.